Welcome back, everybody, to the next episode of the life and suffering of Sir Brante. We are now officially halfway through Peacetime, and without further ado, let's just get right back into the game. It's the year 1142, and the Emperor's heirs are in danger. News from the capital quickly reaches every corner of the Empire. Jarian and the Flavius, the heirs to the thrones, have left the Emperor's palace for the province of Monia, which is ruled by Great Chancellor Aguarius Monrogue. The Great Chancellor has accused the Emperor's court of harboring malefactors conspiring against the imperial heirs. That's why he's offered them shelter and safety in his own impregnable citadel. The common people are particularly worried by the news. They take it as a sign that the Chancellor is seeking to solidify his power by holding the heirs hostage. If this continues, Montague could coerce the Emperor into revoking the imperial law, thus depriving the common state of any and all rights. God, this guy's a dick? Jesus, he's very manipulative. I wonder if they if they voluntarily were brought to the Citadel, or if they were brought to the Citadel. All hope for reform in the Empire has vanished. From farmer to rich industrialist, the commoners are growing desperate. In your province, the authorities are trying their best to put the people at ease. The magistrate of Antidote made a speech from his balcony to the excited crowd below. Trust in your emperor, good people. The imperial heirs are the future of the great Tempest dynasty. The emperor has made the wise decision to send them far away from the scheming court. Great Chancellor Montague will take good care of them and keep them safe. All glory to the empire. All glory to the Tempest. Jesus. The wealth of Megra. Chapter Peacetime ends soon. Examine possible chapter endings, check which way you're headed. To achieve the goal you've chosen, you have to meet all of its conditions at the end of the chapters. We're halfway through. Maybe it's true. Auden is sentenced. I need justice 8 to... Wait, what? I need justice 8 to 9. Auden faces the court of honor. Knight of the Serpents. The support. I need to get justice up to 8 to 9? I did not realize that. What the hell? Okay. Well... So... I need to get justice up to 9? Oh my god, okay. Well, fuck me, I guess. Trying to balance up. The search for evidence. You're walking up the marble stairs that lead to the doors of the prefecture. The sword of the younger twins, carved from stone, looms above the doors, just as the case of Doris Otten now looms over you. Preparing this case will take many long months, or even years. The words of Prefect Delborn are evidence enough of that, and time and again you will ask yourself, are you ready to see this case through to the end? Well, the way we're looking, we do not have enough justice for that. Father meets you at the stairs, and judging by the dour look about him, news of your most recent case has already reached him. Son, I don't want to discuss this back home. Elborn is our friend, and I stand by him at all times, but he's dragged you into something that's far too dangerous. I'm not going to repeat your grandfather's mistakes, so I won't tell my son how to live his life or what to do. But I ask you to please consider our family. Would it be worth it to let us to come to harm, even if the triumph of justice and law is at stake? There are already rumors at the prefecture. They say you're getting ready to summon a high-born Arcanian to court. Soon these rumors will spread beyond the prefecture walls. You and I are both Brantes. Perhaps we ought to stay away from something so dangerous. Some battles are too ugly for us to win. You can always slow down the process and bide your time with routine paperwork. Avoid attracting unwanted attention. This way your career and our family honor would not be at risk. Trust me in this, son. Rather than making a selfless sacrifice, We can achieve far more through tireless service for the good of the law. Oh, you promise Father you will consider his words. You say goodbye and return to your office. You are at a crossroads. If you're to make any headway in the case against Auden, you have to start now, while the trail of misdeeds is still fresh. You have little first-hand knowledge of Otten's criminal wrongdoings. Only Tomas's stories and what have you seen for yourself. Turning this case into a trial requires far more evidence than that. Your friend could be the key to the entire case. If he can help you find the other men who have suffered under the remorseless Arcanian. But Tomas is a hunted man. He has every reason to lay low and steal clear of the courthouse. Apparently I'm gonna have to cut this recording short. Alright, let's get back into this now that my interruptions is done. Man, the weird world is just so absurd sometimes. It really reminds me of a Kafka tale. But moving on, we probably have to make the decision. You consider your options. Apart from Tomas, who else can help you gather compelling evidence against the commander? Aten is an Arcanian from an ancient dynasty. Anyone involved will hold their tongue, no matter what. The way things are right now, not a single soul would risk angering the Atens to aid a middling judge from the unknown family. Unless an even more highborn Arcanian chooses to support your cause. Oh, we got Octavia in our back pocket! Gaius Tempest, the Imperial Overseer of Magra, the Emperor's own brother. Every aristocrat in the province know he detests Oridaten for remaining loyal to Archduke Milonitis. Ensuring the Overseer's support would increase your authority greatly, and give you a chance to gather evidence against Aten without Tomas lifting a finger. But the Imperial Overseer is one step above your prefect, your immediate superior. You can only address Gaius Tempest directly if you keep it a secret from Elborn. Communicating directly with the Overseer of the province means defying your loyalty to Elborn. Are you willing to do this? Puzzled, you start pacing around your office. It's time to decide how you will begin this case. Depending on what you choose, the case against Aten could lead you to unprecedented success or end your career, or even your very life. So, we can't ask Tomas. We can't ask Overseer God. Oh my god. We need reputation greater than equals 7. Search for evidence on your own. Death +1. Don't waste your time. Well, I feel like I'm gonna take the death. Because I feel like I gotta get that evidence, dude. Oh, that's the odd. This would have been the way to go. But well, so okay, we're gonna search for evidence on our own and die. You begin to gather the evidence entirely on your own. You begin investigating the crimes committed by Aden without anyone else's support. You start with the Imperial Legion. After plenty of inquiries, demands, and threats, you finally get a list of Aden's other victims. List in hand, you go to the Armory of Anzot. There you meet the Legion officers who already met a lesser death in a duel with the Arcanian. All of them nobles of the mantle, ennobled only recently, young, and full of potential to serve the good of the Empire. They are all anxious to avoid getting challenged again. For many of them, another duel would be their last. None of them are eager to provide written statements about their duels. It would be improper for a soldier to bear witness against his commander, the latter's conduct notwithstanding. They finally agree to have their testimony come into ink and paper only after you reassure them again and again that their statements will put an end to Aten's murderous rampage. Their stories paint a clear picture, you realize. There's a method to Aten's madness. All the officers disobeyed the commander at least once or expressed their disagreement, no matter how respectfully. More and more officers are starting to realize that Aten's loyalty lies with Archduke Milonitis, and not with his lawful superior, the Overseer. So more and more officers are getting challenged by Aten. Have Aten's dual skills gone beyond his passion for sword fighting? Were they just an excuse to eliminate any suspicion of his treason? Once all the officers' statements have been collected, you make your way back from the Legion barracks as the sun sets beyond the horizon. The night grows dark. You hear a sudden thundering of boots. Several barky, sulky silhouettes emerge from the dark behind you. You quicken your pace, and the strangers break into a run. Yeah, it's likely Otten is just trying to keep everybody hushed. You turn around and draw your sword. Your pursuers encircle you as they draw theirs. You stand ready to defend your life. The strangers attack. Their faces are concealed, but their fighting style betrays their Legion training. You abandon any hopes of launching a counterattack and focus on defense, somehow deflecting every single blow. Then you see an opening and dash towards the nearest home. Your back now safely pressed against a wall. Assassins get closer and form a half circle around you. You have nowhere to run now. You meet them with a flurry of desperate slashes, doing everything you can to keep them away, but your strength is already ebbing with every deflected blow. Then, finally, you are felled by a blade in the stomach. The assailants form a tight circle around you, blocking out the darkening sky. Then you hear a gruff, unfamiliar voice. "We've got a message for you, sir. Mind your own business." The soldier steps on your chest and stabs you in the throat with his sword. You choke on your own blood, shudder, and die. Death comes quickly, almost painlessly. ... Impenetrable darkness surrounds you. You stand alone, bare to your very essence. It paralyzes you. You have an urge to cover yourself, to hide. No one should see you so vulnerable. But you cannot conceal the truth in this place. You're bathed in an unbearably bright light. It has no hint of warmth in it. It is blinding. It leaves no shadows in the entire world. It is the light of the shining pillar itself. In this radiance, you can clearly see all your thoughts and doubts, your errors and transgressions, the contradictions that have permeated you since birth. They cover you from head to toe, like rough, gray tatters. But they melt away in this light. You are naked. You feel liberated and whole. It is through all the wounds and cracks in your soul have been healed, making it the way it should be. It is as though the scales have fallen from your eyes. You see the true shapes of things now. These are the laws by which the world abides. The grand design that moves lights itself. You tread a path that is barely visible in the blinding light, giving shape to everything. In this light, you see the infinite complexity of the world, from the tiniest leaf to the enormity of the empire. And this world maintains its balance by virtue of the law that was embedded in it during the act of creation. Ahead of you, two figures are waiting on the path. They are gigantic, many times taller than man. The elder holds a lash, the younger, a sword. The younger gazes at you sternly, coldly. You kneel obediently before him and lower your head. The god raises his sword above you. This is divine retribution. There is no law without it, nor can there be. Every action has consequences. This is what shapes the world, making its very existence possible. In this moment, beneath the gaze of the merciless God, you comprehend the laws that bind the entire world together. Which manifestation of the law in will you live by? Empire, is this not the ultimate manifestation of the law? The great and incredibly sophisticated mode existence of all people? Your destiny is your own manifestation of the divine law? It is a law that has been with you since the day you were born. Your family is a model of the world, a tiny universe, and it belongs to you as you just belong to it. You defy the design of the gods and the law that binds it together. You are the embodiment of the law. You have been made in accordance with the divine design. Your life work shapes the world and lets you influence the great law itself. We are still going to go with cause as we did with our first death when our grandfather beat us to death those 20-some years ago. The blade flashes. The younger sword slashes the air above your head. You do not deserve your final punishment. The law demands that you continue your life. Your form has not been completely destroyed, nor has that of the world. The younger extends his gigantic hand and shows you the way. You must proceed. The path leads you to the top of the crown of the silver tree, spread wide in the white gleam. The branches are close now. It is time to descend. You are drawn downward into darkness. The shadows that have disappeared in the blinding light creep around you and envelop you. This is to be expected. But the purity and clarity of spirit are still with you. Something is forcing your throat open. Air. It scratches you on the inside. Your soul is filled with struggle again, with the contradictions from which the fabric of this world and yourself are woven. The divine light that gave you clarity is fading away with each passing moment. You have to open your eyes. Above you is the dark ceiling of the crypt. You are reborn. Well, there's our second death. We still have two more before our true death. You feel the world again, the cold stone of the tomb, a weak gust of stagnant air. You rise again from the stone slab in the middle of your family crypt and look closely at your arm. A new black mark encircles it. Little else has changed in your body born anew, although getting used to it will take some time. This death is behind you now. It's time to return to your life. You go to work in the morning as usual. Having returned to life, you do all you can to ensure that nobody learns about your death. Any attempt to find your killers and bring them to justice would only hinder your progress in the case. Those Legion soldiers were just following orders, and it's not difficult to figure out whose. For now, you do your best to recover and commit to paper every instance and incident, every name, every circumstance. The once thin folder against Otten grows fatter by the day. One day, Prefect Alborn pays you a visit to see your progress firsthand. Oh ho ho, you've done great work, Brante. Commander Uten isn't even bothering to cover his tracks, I must say. The Devons alone be enough to indict anyone save for an Arcanian nobleman, sadly. So your work here is far from over. I see you realize that. The way things stand right now, summoning an Arcanian to trial in court of law would indict us rather than him. It would be best to postpone the case for now, but keep the folder safe and secure. If you want to have any chance of getting him indicted in court, we need to make the nobles in the province recognize duels as acts of murder. This means defying a tradition of old, a road perilous and seldom traveled. It means enforcing the rule of law over the Anazog gentry. For now, Sir Brante, return to your other duties, and pay attention to any dueling incidents. We will take our next step against Sir Otten when the time is right. We have hit max valor, we have died twice, and we are also very scheming. Very scheming for a judge. You now have the evidence that you need to bring Adorius Otten to trial. The justice requirement for Otten is sentenced, and the career requirement for Otten faces a court of honor are reduced by 1. So now we only need 7 instead of 8. Stefan's Gambit. This event is a consequence of your previous actions. Stefan de Brante is greater than or equal to 1. Okay. More Stefan voice. I'm looking forward to it. You have found any time for family matters this year. The events taking place in the city keep you busy at all hours. Tonight you come home extremely late, but the fireplace in the sitting room is lit. By the fire you see Stefan with a glass of wine. Your older brother has been waiting for you. You take a seat in the chair by Stefan's side. Your brother keeps turning his glass with his long fingers. Bossons, we need to have a talk about Gloria. She flatly refuses to behave as she ought to. Her antics are ruining our family's reputation. If this situation persists, nobility of the sword will be put out of the question. Brother, I do not wish her ill, but we have no right to sit idly by. Regrettably, Gloria will never truly be part of the Brante family. Her origins are too tarnished. It is our duty to find her a new family. It is high time Gloria got married. But we just can't give our sister to any commoner, can we? And how could any noble wed her, knowing her origins? I've been at a stumbling block for a long time, but I've found a suitable match for her. His name is Jose El Baladir. Oh my god, the one that was creepily hitting on her. He is a young nobleman of the sword, recently graduated from the college, and he has a position at the city hall. Do you recall the reception several years ago? We couldn't take his eyes off of Gloria. Pelletier has been obsessed with her ever since. Not even her lowly origins can deter him. Admittedly, Gloria does not reciprocate his affection. Just yet. So let us convince Gloria that becoming Sir El Pelletier's bride is her chance to escape her current situation. And let us pray she comes to her senses and puts her rebellious ways behind her. Isn't this an ideal solution? After marrying El Pelletier, Gloria will be a noblewoman herself. We'll be granting her the freedom she craved since she was a girl, and then she can write poetry and do whatever else takes her fancy. I will enter into negotiations with the El Pelletier family. Rumor has it Jose's father already has a future wife in mind for him, the daughter of an important chancellery official. But Jose's passion must win out in the end, don't you agree? As for you, Parsons, please help me with Gloria. You're closest to her, after all. You can make see how beneficial this match would be. She must fulfill her duty to the family that took her in, after all. Stefan looks at you expectantly. You're at a crossroads. Will you accept your brother's plan or refuse him? Will this marriage be a blessing, and for whom? Like... Oh, shoot. Oh, shit. Like, we're not asking Gloria, because Gloria probably saying she doesn't want to get married to him, like, obviously. It's getting set up for her. But if we agree, it does allow Gloria to escape her commoner status, which she's despised her whole life, but she probably... Oh, fuck. It's gonna probably... The thing is, Gloria will probably bite us in the butt later. Oh, shoot. I don't know, dude. Stefan Brante's secret plot. Like, the part of me just wants to do it because I'm interested in seeing where it's gonna go. But part of me just wants to refuse because, one, I think the rewards are better. And two, for Gloria's sake, it could be just... You know, it's the right decision. I think I'm gonna have to just refuse. Your words slice through the silence of the sleeping house. You will disagree with Stefan and will not participate in his plots against your sister. Stefan does not say anything, but his grip on the glass tightens. Finally, you hear the sound of breaking glass, and glittering shards fall to the floor. Stefan pensively contemplates the blood running down his palm. Pity? What a pity! Our grandfather, Sir Gregor, is no longer with us. It would make both you and Gloria see reason. Neither of you is capable of grasping what family and blood mean. So I suppose I must bear this burden alone. Stefan leaves the room. You are left alone in front of the dying fire. After a conversation last night, Stefan mostly stays silent and treats Gloria with pointed courtesy. The family breathes a collective sigh of relief. Could the feud between Stefan and Gloria finally be over? You're the only one who is aware of the scheme your brother is concocting. We have disagreements, but we're I just couldn't do it. His consequence, and not in the secret plot, the illegitimate girl. Your home is quiet tonight. Father is away arbitrating disputes in migrant villages. Stefan is visiting one of his high-placed patrons. After dinner spent in silence, everyone retreats to their chambers. You're about to retire for the night when Gloria calls out to you. Parsons, wait a minute. I have an important favor to ask you. Your sister leads you to her longtime refuge, the library. Here in the shadows between the bookcases, you will not be overheard. Brother, I wish to speak with you before Stan returns. His scheming is becoming unbearable. It's beyond Sir Robert's power to stop him, let alone Mother or Nathan. You're my only hope. You shrug. All families argue from time to time, but every quarrel has to end sooner or later. Yes, it will. And when Stefan finally gets rid of me, as far as he's concerned, I'm just a stumbling block and a stain on his father's good name. He lets me stay in the house only to avoid causing a scandal in high society. But as soon as the Brontes get his precious nobility the sword, I'll be out on the street in the blink of an eye. Parsons, you don't want me to get kicked out of the family, do you? Please help me. I need to convince Sir Robert to adopt me and make me legitimate. After that, it won't be so easy for Stefan to dispose of me. And then I won't bear the stigma of being a bastard anymore. I know Sir Robert would agree, if only by virtue of the love he has for our mother. But Stefan is standing in his way. Tell me, will you help me? An illegitimate child who has never known her father, a stranger in the family. Gloria looks at it with hopeful, pleading eyes. We can refuse Gloria or help Gloria. Which again gives us one unity and 5 willpower. It's the same trade-off as before. Fuck. Why does that give us plus unity? I think I'm going to help Gloria though. You give Gloria a firm embrace. Ever since you were children, she's always been by your side. The two of you may have different fathers, but she is your sister. And she must remain a member of this family. It is your duty to come to her aid. You will make sure Gloria becomes a Brante. Gloria lets out a sigh of relief and hugs you back. It makes me so happy to know that you're on my side. You wait for Stefan to come home. Your brother returns from his visit merciful and in high spirits. This is the perfect moment to have a talk. That went splendidly, brother! Magistrate Vermin himself will support us. I'm on friendly footing with his son now. It won't be long before we can become nobles of the sword. But why are you still up? You raise the matter of your sister. The feud between Stefan and Gloria must end. Your brother seems to be unaware how much damage it is inflicting on the family. But you know how to remedy it. The reason for everything is Gloria's lowly station. She should bear the Bronte name. Your brother assumes a born Mian. Don't waste your time, brother. I know what Gloria is after. You mentioned damage to the family. Can you even fathom what this would mean for the Bronte name? By allowing an illegitimate child into his family, our father would cover us all with indelible shame. Several generations of Brontes to come would not even dare to dream of becoming nobles of the sword. By the twin gods, I will not let that happen. You attempt to point out to Stefan that Gloria's desperate situation is leading her to more and more audacious escapades. If she becomes a member of this family, she'll stop. Believe me, Parsons, I want to see Gloria at peace as much as you do, but not at the cost of her entire family's future. Absolutely not. I have a different idea for Gloria, and I'm sure the solution will satisfy everyone involved. Good night. You let your sister know of Stefan's vehement denial. Gloria is so vexed, she is shaking. So he wouldn't even hear us out? Is that it? He's willing to do anything just to drive me out, isn't it? Parsons, we need to think of something. Gloria will continue her battle for the right to stay with the family, and you have promised to help her. A realm unknown. The sun is setting on a cold, windy day as you return from the prefecture. To your surprise, a messenger awaits you at the door with an urgent letter from Sir Elborn. You open the letter. Brante! Oh, what? That sounds the right voice. What was my voice for him? I just completely... Brante? No. This is an urgent case that I must entrust to you. We have just received a report of a secret society formed by young nobles. Their archduke's family may be involved. This concerns me. I suspect a possible plot to depose Overseer Tempest. Not normally, the secret chancellery handles all such cases, but I'd rather investigate the rumors of the plot before there is any action. Preventing unnecessary bloodshed and disgrace would be prudent. You are to investigate this matter as soon as possible. The gendarmes tracked down a suspicious nobleman by the name of Alexis Lance. Based on his confession, a meeting of the society will be held tonight. Unfortunately, this is all we are to learn from him. The Lance family is of too high standing for more thorough questioning. Fortunately, all members of the secret society wear masks when attending meeting. We've acquired Lance's personal mask and will ensure that he's late to the meeting. You should be able to impersonate him quite easily. You are to attend the meeting tonight and learn as much about this secret society. This will allow us to foil a dangerous plot or save many young people from the secret chancellery. The letter includes a delicate gilded mask of intricate workmanship. Fortunately, it fits your face perfectly. It seems your plans for tonight have changed. Yeah, Elborn's not afraid to take matters into his own hands, or in case our hands. Following the prefect's instructions, you come at the appointed hour to an inconspicuous mansion at the edge of Anzot with a spacious yard and tall fence all around it. The gatekeepers bow and open the gate as soon as they see you. It seems the mask is enough to convince everyone that you believe belong inside. Inside the yard, you see noble carriages, many more than you had expected. You're ushered into a dressing room of sorts. A change of clothes already awaits you inside. It's a curious garb, a square of flowing, sparkling cloth with clasping cords to keep it from unwrapping. You've never seen anything quite like it. With this strange robe and the gilded mask over your normal clothes and face, you cannot help but feel rather silly. This attire feels positively unsuitable for any kind of plotting or scheming. Next, you proceed to a large room. The windows are covered in black cloth to keep prying eyes away, but you forget about it moments later. What seems to be a strange performance is playing out before your very eyes. You hear droning, unfamiliar music coming seemingly from nowhere. You see candlelight dancing and glimmering. Ribbons of gold and silver are hung around the walls as decorations. And there are people, many people, like you, that they are dressed in flowing robes and delicate gilded masks with narrow slits for eyes. The people are talking. They stand unexpectedly close to one another, their hands on each other's shoulders. I wonder if this is the La Tarari ritual, by the way. You approach one of the groups, hoping to overhear the subject of their conversation, but you almost recoil when several arms reach out to you at once, attempting to grasp you tenderly by the shoulder. Steeling yourself, you put a hand on another person's forearm. The masked people seem friendly and genial. No one seems surprised by your insecurity. And their conversations are quite ordinary. You are quite out of the ordinary. You hear unfamiliar names, names that could belong to legendary heroes of old, or to the people here who have taken them as secret identities. You hear mentions of books you do not know, and emotions they felt while reading them. Their conversations feel like a strange dream. You hear several voices singing in a far-off corner of the room. There are no lyrics to the song. Each voice maintains its own note. Together, these voices form a tender, softly aching medley. It feels enrapturing. It spirits you away. You feel so distant now from the purpose of your visit, so withdrawn from the judge's trade, so far away from the emperor and your very self. A hand touches your shoulder, bringing you back to your senses. A pair of familiar eyes look at you intently from behind a glinting greenish silver mask. They belong to Octavia. You pull back and bow to the Archduke's daughter. I believe I recognize that man behind the mask. I never expected you to see here today, my extraordinary human. But I must behave here. You best do the same. We are not alone. It would be best if we were not seen too close to one another. As for this place, Sir Brante, allow me to explain. This is the Circle of La Torari, and before you ask, no, we do not plot, nor do we scheme. We have removed ourselves so far as possible from such machinations. I was right. This is the La Torari ritual. This place is a little world of our own, a brief respite from tradition and noble customs and other such fuss. Our gathering is but a pretense, a game of make-believe. We pretend we are neither nobles nor citizens of the Blessed Empires, nor humans nor Arcanians, but the Latari. Do you know what this word means? I would not be surprised if you haven't heard of Latari. These days, the people of Latari are mentioned only in rare historical works. Long before us, in an age when the land was fertile and green, the Latari lived upon the land that would become Magra. They were masters of remarkable art. They could create worlds from nothing but their conscious minds. Many of the people come here for simple entertainment and a brief taste of freedom. Others seek a respite from the binding customs of the noble lot. Still others feel encumbered by their blood ties and ancestral obligations. Only here we are fully free from the burden of our past and our present. Yet some among us seek more than brief moments of freedom. They are drawn here by fascination with the Latari and their idea that our entire existence can be shaped by the mind alone. We strive to know the Latari people for ourselves. We strive to continue their teachings. We strive to become them. If we happen to master the art of shaping worlds with our own minds, we may yet break free of the trap that is this harsh existence. Surprised by this, you ask her why she is telling you this so openly. She knows that the rituals of instinct races are in the same regard as magic, and punishable as ever. In response to your question, Octavia suddenly takes off her golden mask, and reveals a slight smile on her once hidden face. May your voice ne'er speak words of deceit. To great shame lies the path of untruth. Where an Arcanian lies, where a human denies, the Latari speak truly, forsooth. I'm not afraid. The truth of the Latari matters more to me than any persecution. You came here in secret and wearing a mask, which means the prefecture has taken interest in our little gatherings. But I am confident you would describe this as an incident club of young nobles and keep our fragile world from prying eyes and ears. Would you do this for me, Parsons Brante? These words spoken by Octavia sound more like an assertion than a question, but you are in no hurry to respond. Your thoughts are tangled, lost among the echoing voices, fluid motions, and transcendent music. This gathering is a violation of the law. This you cannot deny. All rituals of extinct races were banned at the foundation of the Empire. You may summon the gender mace here at any moment. You'd only need to give a sign to the driver, and when they get here, the circle of Latari will be gone in an instant. You will prove to the city that not even the most noble of denizens are above the law, but Octavia will never forgive you. You could, on the other hand, keep the circle of Latari a secret from Melbourne, and report this meeting as a harmless gathering of young nobles looking for an opportunity to socialize. But, if the secret chancellor ever takes interest in the meeting, you will be powerless. Someone has already reported Octavia's circle to the prefecture. There is a very good chance that these reports will continue. Perhaps if you tell Octavia the danger she is facing, she will disband the circle herself. There's one more way you could resolve this predicament. With a piece of paper, some ink, and a bit of skill, the Circle of Latari could become a noble historical society, one of many dozen in Anazode alone. Legitimized by the city, Octavia's gatherings would remain a secret within this mansion. But how do you have enough influence to make this possible? And would it be wise to expend it this way? Say something, Parsons. There is no time to be quiet. The great mystery of Latari is about to begin. Oh, we don't get to convince her because we don't have manipulation greater than 10. We can't legitimize the circle because we need... Oh my god. We need diplomacy greater than or equal to 15. Dude, this has been the best option. Oh, fuck. Dude. So we can either ban it or keep their secret. But that gives justice -1. And I need it. But we get the Latari ritual. Reputation -1. Dude, I don't know. We're going down a rabbit hole. Let's just keep their secret. You promise Octavia not to tell a soul about the Circle of Latari, and ensure the prefecture is none the wiser. You will tell the prefect that the gathering of young nobles is just an elaborate yet harmless amusement that poses no threat to public order whatsoever. The Arcanian lady rewards you with an enigmatic smile. I expected nothing less, Parson Brante. I value your loyalty. This circle is the most important thing in my life right now. Fuck! Dude, I'm just one fucking short. Oh! If only we were alone, so I could show you the full extent of my gratitude. But the great mystery of the night is about to begin. Since you have joined us tonight, Parsons, you will take part in it. Octavia withdraws, walks to the center of the room, and raises her arms. The voices and music fall silent. Form a circle, O chosen ones, and join hands. Direct your thoughts and feelings towards the circle centers, towards me. Become one with me. Become one inside the circle. Become Latari. Before you know it, the masked people have formed a large circle. They begin to move. It is a strange, slow dance devoid of music. Their movements are unlike any dance you know. Intertwined arms become an embrace, and that embrace then becomes intertwined arms yet again. Everyone dances, and the dance sweeps you away and absorbs you as well. You see golden faces moving all around. Deep within, you begin to feel a strange connection to them. It is as though if you have known them all along, as if you have known yourself as being a gilded, delicate face. You are united, one with the people who surround you, insecure no more, uneasy no more. All of you desire, all of them blended within this space. This is by far probably a really bad idea, but you are one. You are Latari. You are the truth. Beyond you, there is nothing. The world around you grows dull. The fragments are falling away. Your bodies, the walls, the houses, the city, everything grows dull and disappears in the light. There is only the Latari. Beyond them, there's nothing. The world was but a dream, and you have awoken from it. The minutes spent in the strange dance, what were they? That you do not know. But the law, the lot, the empire itself, they did not exist so long as this dance of unity lasted. Do you understand now? Do you see why there's nothing in the world more important to me than the circle? This world holds us like a prison, yet there can be another, a world free from the twins and their design. Ah, I can glimpse it, but if only I could step into it. Octavia cuts her speech short. She looks at you intently. But this is only my concern and my responsibility, because I want it to be so. Do not return here, Parsons. You've seen enough. You'll bring danger upon the circle if you're seen coming here again. The next day you report to Elborn and tell him the concerns are baseless, that there was no sign of a noble plot whatsoever. It was nothing but a costume party hosted by several young nobles seeking entertainment, and sweet pleasure belongs to the nobles of the lot, do they not? I figured as much. I'm glad we didn't stick the gender on them. I just hope the secret chancellor in Sir Alfredo never hears of these reports. I doubt the advisor would be as tolerant as their youthful amusements. Well then, you may return to Otten's case, Brante. As you sift through another pile of paperwork, you cannot help but think of the Circle of Latari again. There can be no doubt. The members of the Circle are pretending to be a long-extinct race. They are therefore revolting against the Empire, not on the streets, but in their minds, and this is an even greater threat. The followers of Latari has escaped punishment, and you have been among them. Why would that lower him if he doesn't know? Yeah. Hey, I got plenty of willpower now, though. You participate in the Inamatter ritual of a long dead race. Is that going to be the last of the year, then? Yes, it will be. Alrighty then, that brings to the end of this episode. Like, this is, dude, I got my second death. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just making decisions because I'm hoping my investment in Octavia Milonitis pays off. And she can end out helping me on the end. Oh my god, it seems like it would have just paid off more though if she was just I was just her patron rather than her lover. Because I would, oh my god, if I had diplomacy 15, I would have been able to make that decision. Oh my god, I'm just a little short of everything. That's, I guess, what happens when you try to balance. I'm more freaking scheming than I am diplomatic for some reason too. Oh well. I imagine many people would disagree with my decisions in this episode. The secret plot with Stefan choosing to help Gloria, the Latari ritual. How would you have gone about the decision given up to this point? Would you have gone a different way? Let me know down in the comments. But, until next time, everyone. See ya.